When the topic of saving money comes up, some people think this means depriving yourself, but this isn't necessarily true. There are ways that we can still get the things that we want in life whilst not needing to spend as much as we think at first glance. Often what it means is putting a little bit more thought and intention into our purchases. So in this video, I'm going to take you through 12 realistic ways that you can start saving money right now. So tip number 1 is buying once. And the idea behind this comes from the story of Goldilocks. When she tried those 3 lots of porridge, one was too hot, one was too cold, and one was just right. And when we make purchases, we want to buy the thing that is just right. Too cold might be classed as perhaps as being cheaper or lower quality that won't necessarily stand the test of time. And too hot might be something that is more expensive, but actually it's got far more extras to it than we actually need. What we want to find is something that meets our needs at an affordable price. And the key to this is to do research before you buy. Look at online reviews of the item, see what other people are saying. And I know sometimes these reviews aren't necessarily genuine, but when I've looked through a lot of the reviews for an item that I'm wanting to purchase, generally I can get a good sense of whether this is going to be the right item for me. When I've looked at cheaper options, sometimes I see a lot of reviews that say that the item stopped working after only a few months. But equally, I've looked at some expensive items before and seen similar things said. So don't just go on the price, have a look at the reviews as well. Ultimately, whenever we purchase something, we're going to be taking a risk. So even though we might do our due diligence, we can't guarantee that the thing we're buying is going to last. But if we do some thorough research, I think we can reduce the risk of buying something that's going to fall apart and where we end up needing to buy a replacement item a few weeks or months down the line. Tip number 2 is to reduce your major spends. So our biggest outgoings tend to be our car, if we've got one, our home, and our food. Now, I know people who have bought cars where the monthly repayment is nearly as much as my mortgage. Personally, I really can't understand why you would want to spend that much on a car. I just don't get it. If you've got the money to do this, then fair enough. But the people I've got in my mind actually complain that they don't have a lot of money, but they don't make the link between those two things. When we bought our home, my husband and I made a very conscious decision not to buy up to our borrowing limit. And it means that if in the future one or other of us want to reduce our working hours, we can do so and we can still pay our bills. It's not to say that finances won't be tight if that happens, but it just gives us a little bit more wiggle room. And in terms of food, I'm sure like me, you've seen your shopping bill go up, and that's even despite shopping in the cheaper supermarkets here in the UK. What I will say is just remember, supermarkets want to make it easier for you to spend money. The way that supermarkets are laid out isn't just random, it's designed to get you buying more. The best tip I had quite a few years ago was about not buying at eye level from the shelves. What supermarkets tend to do is put the well-known brands at eye level because this is the place we naturally tend to look. It's an easier place that we can reach to and just grab the items that we want, especially if we're in a bit of a rush. But just take a little bit more time to look up and down on the shelf and you will see cheaper versions of those items. Even though it might be just a few pence here and there, you'll be surprised at how much you can save on your overall shop. Tip number 3 is to save first. Many years ago in my 20s, I used to wait until the end of the month to see if I had any money left to put away into savings. And unsurprisingly, I didn't have much in the way of savings built up through this method. These days, my saving amount is part of my budget. So at the beginning of the month when I get paid, I have an automatic transfer set up that takes a certain amount out of my bank account and into my savings account. And the fact that it's an automatic payment means I don't have to do it manually. I don't have to think about it. It just does what it does every month. It's gone into my savings and I don't have to draw it back out because it's all within my budget. Tip number 4 is to cancel or downgrade subscriptions. If you have some subscriptions that you haven't used in a while, think about whether you can cancel them or maybe downgrade them to a lower level if you're not quite ready to get rid of them. We got rid of Netflix some years ago because we no longer used it. We do have Amazon Prime and my husband watches Prime Video every night of the week. So we certainly get good use out of it, and we do pay for YouTube Premium because we both watch quite a bit of YouTube and I'm not willing to go back to adverts. I would feel it was a huge waste if we were paying for them and not using them on a daily basis, but we are, so we're happy to keep them. Other subscriptions might be things like magazines, food boxes, makeup boxes. Think about whether these things still bring value into your life. Again, this isn't about depriving yourself. If you still get a value out of them, then great. But if not, maybe it's time to let them go. Tip number 5, which I think is one of the most important tips, is to understand your spending triggers. We tend to be emotional buyers, and just remember the marketing company companies are not selling you a product. They're selling you a feeling or a state of mind that they want you to believe you'll have when you own a product. For me, my spending trigger is the fear of missing out on a deal. And I'm not saying that I get this right every time. There are still times where I get caught out on this. There's a time limited offer, there's a huge discount, and I'm convinced that this discount will never come up again. And also I've noticed there are times where maybe I feel a bit low in mood, where I notice that I start to scroll sites a bit more and just look at things I'd want to buy. Although interestingly, I'm able to see that for what it is and I don't buy in those cases. But fear of missing out, definitely get caught out with that one. So think about what your emotional triggers are. Is it when you're bored? Is it when you feel sad or low in mood? Or maybe you feel kind of excited about something and want to get out there and spend something on yourself. Knowing our emotional triggers to buying can help us to take a step back when we're in that position of feeling tempted to get something that we might not really need. We can think about whether this urge to buy is coming from one of our emotional triggers. It gives us time to step back and think it through more clearly. Tip number 6 is to give yourself a goal to work towards. So for me, I really want to pay off my mortgage early. I'd love to be able to pay it off before I'm 60, certainly before I retire, so that I don't have to worry about it once I'm retired. I can just use more of that money on doing the things I want to do. Having this goal in mind really motivates me to not spend money unnecessarily. I pay as much extra money off my mortgage as I can. Again, I don't deprive myself. I don't want this to be that I'm struggling each month for the sake of paying off the mortgage early, because we don't know what's going to happen in future. I may not live to see my mortgage paid off early, but equally it is a goal that I would like to achieve. And everyone's goals are very individual to them. For you, it might be that you want to save money for a holiday, or maybe a piece of furniture or a new kitchen appliance. Whatever your goal, having a goal can really help you stay on track and keep you motivated to putting that money away each month. Tip number 7 has been really helpful for me, and that is to use your save for later basket. So instead of going straight to checkout, put the item in your save for later basket and give yourself a bit of time to think it through. When I do this, it helps me to get clearer on whether I do actually need this item or whether it was going to be more of an impulse purchase. And if I do decide that I actually do want it, I know that it's coming more from a place of actually needing the thing rather than buying it unnecessarily. Tip number 8 is don't be loyal to any particular brand. Over the years, I'm aware that I have become loyal to certain brands, partly because they have been a cheaper option, but also because I like buying from them. I buy into the marketing, I guess. So for example, for me, I've bought some particular nutritional supplements to help with my weight training from a particular brand for nearly 10 years. One, because they have been cheaper, but also because I like the products. But recently I've started to buy similar products from another company. They're around a similar price, but I feel the quality is better and the range they've got is better. And honestly, it felt really weird to switch brands in that way. I did feel a bit disloyal. It felt like a big change, but brands are not loyal to their customers. They want us to be loyal to them, but they are not loyal to us. So don't feel that you have to stick to a brand. If you can find better deals, cheaper or better quality elsewhere, then go with the other brand. Tip number 9 is to do price comparisons. I found it really helpful to be able to go onto the comparison sites and look for better deals, but you need to make sure that the new policy that's being recommended is like for like with your current policy. Say for example, car insurance, making sure that you get your breakdown cover on there if you've already got it on your existing policy, and any legal cover. It does take more effort to do this, but it has helped me save money in the past. I remember a good few years ago when I was renewing my pet insurance for Cookie, I switched to another provider that saved me almost £20 a month. Tip number 10 is to buy secondhand. I'm aware this is a very personal decision and some people don't want to buy secondhand, but I've managed to get some real bargains over the years. Not always. There are times where I've bought secondhand and the items haven't lasted as long as I wanted, but I guess that's the risk that you take sometimes. I do try and purchase secondhand clothes where I can, unless of course it's something that I just can't find secondhand. I'm not too sure about secondhand shoes or boots. I have bought them secondhand in the past. I'm not in the market for any shoes or boots at the moment, but if in future I do need them, I will consider secondhand. But again, the quality needs to be there. I'm not going to buy secondhand boots or shoes if they're falling apart. Tip number 11 is to use buy nothing sites or groups. So there are groups on social media. There's also a free cycle. I don't know if that's UK only or if that is across the globe. This is a double benefit really, I think. It's not only can you save money by going on these sites and finding something for nothing. When we moved, we used these sites to declutter a lot of items that we just couldn't be bothered to sell. It just would have taken too much time to list system and quite frankly have people mucking you around through saying they're interested and then not turning up. Unsurprisingly, we had people come round the same or the next day to collect them, so it was a win-win. The next tip is to meal plan and batch cook. Meal planning is a great way to save money because it means that you can plan the ingredients that you're going to buy each week. It means you're less likely to get sidetracked by temptations and buy food that you really don't need. And alongside that, batch cooking is a habit that I've adopted for many years because I realised how much it was costing me to eat out. At the weekends, I prepare my lunches for the week ahead so I don't have to do them every night of the week. And when we make dinners, we tend to make enough for 2 nights. So this means we're not cooking every night, and it also means we're less likely to order a takeout when we're feeling tired and unmotivated to make something. And if you'd like to find out more about not buying stuff that you don't need, then click on the video that's on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.